Indicate if it is a question, if it's a contribution, indicate, and then specifically to which of the panel members. I think I'll start from the lady.
Donnez-moi le micro. Hop. Voilà. La question était pour
Thank you very much. My name is Tess Yeke, and I'm a student from the University of Cape Town. So I just have one question for anybody on the panel. You spoke about having protection laws in place of this AI and development and things like that. But we've seen, like, okay, personally, me living in South Africa and having come from Kenya, a lot of Uber drivers are always complaining about the precarity of their work and how the government can't protect them and the government laws are not really working for them. Then you introduce something else, like maybe how Cambridge Analytica took place and it was hijacking people's democracy. So how can we trust that African governments will actually work to create cybersecurity laws that will protect our democracy as young people? 60% of the population is youth. We are on YouTube constantly, we are on Facebook, we are liking things, and then you're putting things that will hijack our democracy and take away our human rights. So how will we know that the African governments will actually protect us from things like this?
Thank you. Next.
Can I talk? All right. Merci, très bien. Je m'appelle Donzo, je suis du Libéria, un ancien étudiant d'ici au Maroc. Mais j'aimerais parler en anglais, s'il vous plaît. All right, on artificial intelligence. So I understand that availability of data is a condition non-escapable towards artificial intelligence. However, most of our African countries, especially sub-Saharan African countries, we have key challenges to data gathering, data management, and data dissemination. Now, in this age and time, how can we benefit from artificial intelligence, not only from the demand side, but from the supply side, amidst resource constraint on our government to support research and development? Thank you.
Next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Munkaila Abdelai. I'm a lecturer in the University of Professional Studies. I have a question and also a contribution. AI, everybody agree with me, is very relevant now and in the future. But if I would say my basic understanding of the technology is about mimicking human intelligence into a machine to enhance the world of work. I am interested as a youth. Everybody here is interested. But I don't understand the coding language that can help me to transfer this intelligence into a machine. This is where we should be starting from as Africa. All our levels of education, we need to teach the youth how to code. From primary, senior high school, university level. So by the time you graduate from the university, you are equipped or empowered to be able to do these stuffs. My next, I would say, question is, how committed are we as continent to invest in artificial intelligence? I just checked the investments and you will realize that the Western American, Europe are making committed efforts in investing in this discipline. Recently, I heard a person donating about 350 million to a university to set up a center in AI. Microsoft introduced 1 billion recently into that. IBM introduced 2 billion into it. Russia in July introduced 2 billion to it. African country, how much are we investing into this discipline?
Thank you very much.
My last addition is that if you mimic this intelligence into a machine to enhance work, what I know is very difficult to mimic has to do with our feelings. How are we going to protect or manage the ethical aspect of AI? Thank you very much.
Thank you. 1, 2, then I'll come to the session. I'll come to you. Thank you. Yes, you can go ahead.
Well, my name is Habib Janj, a medical laboratory student. First, I will just elaborate on the challenges for AI in Africa. I think there is a loophole that we need to fill. If we didn't fill that gap, we will continue as a carbon copy in the Europeans. And first, it's the IT skill. It's a problem in Africa. And we believe, like as this guy just already lamented, when we talk of AI, you just talk of the computer or the software students or engineering students. And that's a big problem in Africa. You see high government workers, you see ambassadors, people working, and even to start up a computer is a problem. And you expect those people to work with artificial intelligence. It's a big problem. That needs to be solved, and how can we solve it? It's the younger generation we have. We nurture them with how the world goes with artificial intelligence. Because in Africa, what we believe in is human intelligence, but we are not using it.
Okay, your points were made.
Okay.
Yes.
And the other part of it, like what to say is, we believe in artificial intelligence. It's eroding our economic. It's lessening the works and it's eliminating the work sector. But that's not the reality. Artificial intelligence cannot do system thinking, cannot do collaboration, cannot do complex communication. So I think we need to improve on our skills and to fuel the data in order for us to use artificial intelligence. So the perspective of artificial intelligence taking our works, it's not part of the artificial intelligence. That's another part of artificial intelligence. But we have to work and then we have to develop ourselves in order for Africa to use artificial intelligence.
Thank you very much for the relevant contribution. 1, 2, that will come to my back. Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'd just like to make a contribution in regards to what this gentleman here said about how ready Africa is to be committed to artificial intelligence. At the moment, we have quite a few countries in West Africa that are very committed. Let's say, for instance, Sierra Leone. We have the government of Sierra Leone who actually, at the moment, they have what we call e-governance. Therefore, everything in Sierra Leone, when it's come to the government, it's on E, if you understand what I mean. And also, they have created a hub for young people, make it mandatory that young people learn how to code, which is very important. I would not go into detail because tomorrow I will elaborate on that. So we may not know, but there are countries that are working very hard, and African youth are very keen and committed to make it happen. We don't have the finances, or we have the finances, but not put it together yet, but we are getting there. We have to be patient with our government, and we have also to be patient with ourselves because development is progressive.
Thank you.
It's not something you can do on a day-to-day.
All right, thank you very much. The last one here, and then we come to this session.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Salif Sonko, a Gambian, new student in Morocco here actually. Actually, I am not in support of the whole of AI because the thing is, if you look at the population of Africa, because the previous session that we had here, they are talking about 205 million people will be unemployed in 2030. So looking at that rate of unemployment in Africa, if you have to bring something again that will reduce the labor, the manpower labor, to me it doesn't make sense. We are thinking about how how to at least move Africa, that people have employment, because in those advanced worlds that you have that AI system, those people already there, employment is not a problem there. Even if it's a problem, then it's limited compared to Africa. Africa is a world whereby to have work is very, very difficult, and then people are not educated to that extent. So if you have too much of AI, securities will not have work. To put food in the table is a problem. Africans are hungry. We are hungry, that's the problem. Because even corruption that we are talking about here is, you cannot ask somebody to manage $100 million US, and then you are paying him $100 out of that. So actually, in the nutshell, there will be too much corruption, and there will be, misappropriation of all those resources that are given to those people to manage. I don't buy the idea of AI anyway. That's my take on it.
Thank you for your contribution. Next. Can the microphone come to my left? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Alex Getonga. I'm from Kenya, Mount Kenya University. I'm studying law. My question goes to Peter Quest. It's good that we have a person from the government here. And my take about the AI technology and the youth is that AI technology has brought about, it is dangerous in my own sense. In the coming future, we are going to see many youths coming into the job market. And what has AI technology done? AI technology has gone into our hotels, replaced the waiters, the waitress with robots. With now what we are seeing in Japan, the same is going to be reflected in Africa in the next 20 years. So my take is, we appreciate AI technology, and we appreciate technology as the youth. But who are the people doing all these innovations? Of course, at the end of the day, it is the youth. Like he mentioned in Kenya, the mobile money, actually sending money through the mobile, it was innovated by a youth who right now, we can talk of him being poor, but the rights and the patents, he sold it to a company which uses his idea to develop now the mobile money. So my question is, you being in the government, what is the government doing about, number one, data protection? Number two, what are those labor policies being put in place to ensure that the youths who are innovative and entrepreneurs, whatever thing that they are doing, whatever innovations that they are doing in the labor market, they are protected? And number three, the copyrights and patents. We need stronger structures so that even our youth, when they are becoming innovative, whatever creations they make, they are protected. The AI technology finally was propounded by John McCarthy in 1955 in the Dartmouth conference in 1955. And his idea, McCarthy's idea was that it was an alternative of using machines to use language and to use abstractions so as to solve problems which were reserved for humans. To make, the last part is very important in his definition of AI, to make humans better, not to make humans unemployed. So right now, with the definition, with the sense that was propounded by John McCarthy, I want African leaders, I want government officials to ensure that youths who are innovative in their respective areas are protected. And my question is now to the government, to the youth coordinator in
Thank you
Kenya.
very much. Question well noted. Last one. Him. Yeah.
All right. Good evening. My name is Gospel. I'm from Zambia. I'm a civil engineering student here at the Mohammed Premier University in Ujda. So I have basically three simple questions that I would like to find out from the panelists. And first and foremost, I would like to make mention that actually artificial intelligence is one thing that has really helped us. And we can see the results from one of
Can you just go straight to the question? Please
okay,
go straight.
so the first question is, what regulations are there going to be, in the sense that we've seen we've seen debates and we've seen a number of jobs that have been lost. And from my research, I found out that actually about 20 million jobs will be lost by 2030. So now, are there going to be regulations to cut down? I don't know, are there going to be regulations to cut down on how many, for example, maybe robots are going to be put in place? Because when I look at it, I find out that when we're talking about restaurants, we'll get to find that all the waiters will no longer be there, and we'll get to find that the restaurant owners are actually going to be becoming more richer and making, the poor poorer and the richer richer, because the restaurant owner will get to have robots.
Your
and
second
not
question.
spend. And then my second question is this, especially, I'm actually still on the robot thing, and I would just like to find out more. Is this robots making man or making work easier for man, or is it actually taking the place of man? I thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me come to my panel members to answer some of the questions. I think most of them were contributions, and so there are about 4 or 5 questions that we want to answer. But, okay, quickly, I will cut you if you are just...
Thank you very much. My name is Alfred Ongwen from Uganda. My issue is coming from the geopolitical point of view. You realize in the near future, the people that will control this world are those that have control over technology and food. Now, talking about technological advancement, how is Africa positioned for this? Because you realize we don't actually control any of these technological ideas. I'm talking about the cyber service providers. Has anyone ever imagined if Google, for example, stopped their services for just a week, how much businesses in Africa here would fall, including governments, by the way? Look at China. If I give that as an example, they have their own set of Google services. You come to Africa, we actually live on Google services. Talk about YouTube and all that. But we don't actually control such technology. So how are we positioned as Africa to actually also have control over such? Right now, these technological companies are collecting all sorts of data that we share, and we have no control over that. So can we have, say, a technological think tank that is going to have bring up innovations that Africa would also take part in controlling technology? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Back to my panel members. Anyone to start? All right.
Oui, je voulais les ateliers de codage. Au Sénégal, on a fait tous les week-ends. C'est juste pour vous rassurer. Donc, il ne s'agit pas d'attendre l'université. Dès 12 ans, on peut former les jeunes au codage. Deuxième élément, la tendance qu'ont les grandes firmes, les grandes plateformes mondiales, de venir en Afrique créer des centres. Parce que le premier centre Google a été créé en Afrique. Mais qui en bénéficie de l'innovation, ce n'est pas l'Afrique. Donc il y a une question de souveraineté qui se pose aujourd'hui. Certains même utilisent la colonisation cybernétique. C'est à la fois les données, mais même l'innovation, parce que tout le monde organise aujourd'hui en Afrique des concours d'innovation. Ensuite, les meilleures innovations partent ailleurs. Et les gens les retravaillent et disons, les brevettent. Ce n'est pas l'Afrique qui les brevette. Donc la question de la souveraineté liée à l'intelligence artificielle, c'est un point crucial. Bon, vous avez parlé tout à l'heure de protection, c'est un peu lié à ça. Le troisième élément, c'est la robotisation dans l'entreprise. C'est un mouvement irréversible. Il ne faut pas avoir peur de la robotisation, parce que la robotisation coûte cher. Toutes les grandes entreprises, peut-être, qui sont dans les pays développés, pour des raisons, parce que le Japon a un problème de population, la population du Japon est en train de baisser. Donc le Japon est obligé d'utiliser des robots. L'Afrique, on a encore beaucoup de sous-emplois. Donc, pour moi, le robot ne va jamais remplacer l'homme, en tout cas dans les 50 prochaines années, pour servir le café dans un café. En revanche, les entreprises, même les PME, ont besoin d'incorporer de l'intelligence artificielle dans la production, parce que ça permet d'augmenter la productivité, ça permet d'améliorer la qualité. Mais ça coûte cher. Donc ce qu'il faudrait, c'est imaginer au sein de l'État des systèmes qui permettent de financer la mise à niveau. Les États font de la mise à niveau. Il faudrait incorporer dans les programmes de mise à niveau une mise à niveau concernant l'intelligence artificielle. Donc voilà un peu des mots que je voulais donner.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks very much. I want to start from the general fear about AI coming to take people out of work. Like he rightly mentioned, if you compare a human being to AI or robots, you realize that human beings, we have emotions. We have that feelings for each other. No robot has yet been created to be able to behave like that. So a human being, when you deal with a human being, the human interface is still different from the robotic interface. So let's not be that afraid that robots are out there to replace us. But we are sending a warning or a caution to the youth and members out here that there are certain jobs we are currently engaged in. Those jobs can easily be replaced by AI. For example, in most organizations, we had something called a messenger. And the job of a messenger was to take letters from one organization to the other. Or the postal system where we were sending letters to other places. Emails came to what? Kill that kind of role. So you realize that if you wanted to survive in an organization as a messenger, then maybe you needed to add something to your job. So maybe you had the ability to be at the reception, receive members, or make some photocopies, and the rest. This is where we bring in to your attention that you need to be careful. Finally, I've been prompted that there is no time. One of the comments from one of the people out there mentioned about the definition of AI was to help, but not to create problems. Yes, AI is helping us, but as Africans, we need to ensure that we understand how AI works. Immediately we understand how it works, we can use it to our own benefits. Thank you.
I think I want to clarify, or maybe input on what Alex said. One, of course, the government is very keen on protecting the interests of its people. It's the responsibility of the government to actually protect the people. It's not the interest of the government to actually affect or destroy any person's idea. The idea of patenting is very critical. I think it's upon us to really encourage young people, and of course youth, to make sure that their ideas have been patented, so that the ideas are not taken away. I think I want to summarize on that and say, and of course, importantly is that the policies must be very clear. I think as young leaders who are in this particular audience is that right now, governments are working in partnership with the people. You need to be part and parcel of those policies that are actually affecting young people directly. I think that is what I want to say.
All right, thank you. 1 minute.
Okay, I want to make it short. I basically have two aspects here. Number one is we have to think a bit globally. Yeah. The fact is, there is a shortage already, and it's increasing in jobs, in technological jobs. Huh? So this is an opportunity, and the population in Africa has great potential to invest in itself and to catch up, because where the jobs are needed right now in the West, they don't have enough people to fill these jobs. They are lacking this, and if there is some potential, then this is the time to reap it. The other thing, also from a more global perspective, because we work with companies and locations all over the world, in terms of security and ethical issues and governance. Let me give you the example of the Middle East. I worked in Saudi Arabia a lot. I lived there. I also in Dubai. Why do companies want to go to Dubai and not to Saudi Arabia, even though Saudi is a bigger market? Yeah, in Dubai, the government is flexible. The regulation is better. IP protection is better. And the whole business climate is better, just as an example.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Just give us 1 minute. 1 minute, and it's 1 minute.
I think it's really interesting panel. The discussion could be also continued in maybe here around, but we have to stop because we have our panelists for the last panel, and it takes a long time.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Now, I'm very pleased to receive the place of Aslem in the politics of the South Corporation. I would like to invite the next panel. Guys, go to for the pictures. You're welcome. À bientôt. Mets la photo avec toi. Et maintenant, je voudrais accueillir le dernier panel et la place de l'ASLEM dans la politique de la coopération Sud-Sud. J'ai le plaisir d'accueillir, s'il vous plaît, Monsieur Ba Mamadou Saliou de l'ASLEM, Monsieur Lavou Jérôme, Monsieur le docteur Moussa Youssouf Brahim, président de l'association of former Chadian laureates of France of Morocco, Cher Oumar Sy, le président de l'association des étudiants sénégalais au Maroc. I would like also invite Kokoe Bilitis Aimé Adama, director and founder of the fashion house Bilitis Fashion. Merci. Merci messieurs, excusez-nous encore. Voilà, c'est passionnant, c'est vrai que c'est dur d'arrêter le panel, mais en tout cas, bienvenue. Prenez place. Madame, welcome. Et, bien sûr, j'invite, pour modérer ce panel, Bedi Haribo, vice-gouverneur of the Central Bank of the Republic of Guinea, laureate of Morocco and former Minister of Sports of Guinea, s'il vous plaît. Et nous aurons le rapporteur Yabré Arsene Totao, President of the Amical of the Former Students Interns of the Burkina Faso of Morocco. Voilà, je pense qu'on a un